Hey guys, what's up? It's me, Hyper Hines, and Merry Halloween! You might have seen the story I posted about Day of All the Blood about like 1 or 2 days ago, I'm not sure. So that means I'm in the spirit of Halloween, but I'm not gonna trick or treat out there with all those psychotic clowns around. What do you think I am? Depression? What? Anyway, since Halloween is literally actually around the corner in like 1 day, I decided to bring something new to the channel and do a top 10 video. Since I'm also a huge fan of Pokemon, I decided to do a top 10 list about it. So Halloween plus Pokemon plus top 10 list, you can see where this is going. This is the top 10 Pokemon Creepypastas list. And here are the rules that I'm going to tell you about. 1. Spoilers. Oh my gosh, read the story, they're in the description. Number 2. All this is my opinion. I'm not basing this off any other's opinion. This is my own, and it's no one else's. 3. I'm going to describe these stories in quick detail. That means I'm not going to read them full. I'm at least going to describe them in either miniature or greater detail because I want you to read the stories for yourself first. Number 4. Expect more top 10s in the future. And finally, number 5. The images I put in this video are not mine. They do not belong to me. They all belong to their respective owners. And go give them good. So how about we get right into the stories? Oh my gosh, Keemstar, what have you done to me? Number 10. Pokemon Dead Channel. Whoa, Hyper, the pasta is so full of cliches. If you Pikachu plus on bed, blood and organs, you're such a prick. Whoa, calm down. Now, I can admit this isn't the best story in the world, which is kind of why it's on number 10. But being one of the first Pokepastas, and that's a Pokemon Creepypasta just for short, being one of the first Pokepastas I ever read, it's actually somewhat of a good experience. And when you think about it, it's not bad, to me at least. Story is about a kid having a bad childhood, losing one of his best friends, and he got the game Pokemon Channel, and he loved that game. Now, a couple of years later, when he hadn't touched the game in years, the game was just gruesome, just terrible. Read the story yourself. I will not go into too much details because there's pretty much a lot to tell about it. Number 9. Devolution. This story is about a mighty Yenna not getting loved as much as when he was a Poochyena. So you wanna know what he does? He shortens his bones, rips off some of his limbs to make himself young again. Except not at all. I could say when I read the story at first, it was very gruesome in its writing. And it gave me the chills down my little alienetic spine. I really recommend giving it a read. It's really worth the time, and it is, especially the fact that it's short. Number 8. Lavender Town Syndrome. How is this story not lower on the list? It's original, isn't it? Okay. I can see why you're mad at it, because it's pretty original. And first let me say, I don't hate the story at all. These are all stories that I like in my opinion. But the thing is, taken straight from looking it up, the Lavender Town Syndrome, also known as Lavender Town Tone, or Lavender Town Suicides, was a peak in suicides and illness of children between ages 7 and 12 shortly after the release of Pokemon Red and Green in Japan, back on February 27th, 1996. But I actually have the original Japanese Pokemon Red, Green, Blue, and Yellow. And am I dead? No. Maybe I am. No, I'm just pulling your leg. Number 7. Wally. This story is pretty depressing in its part. Good. It's just depressing. But that's what I do like about some stories. It causes you to feel some emotion. Author finds this Ruby game, then wants to revisit it. And he especially wants to revisit the trainer Wally, which is a pretty cool trainer in my opinion. And after beating him, Wally disappears, and he gets a phone call that says, "Come to Petalburg." And it looks pretty different, especially when he enters Wally's house. Really listen or read it by yourself. And that was my phone. Number 6. Whole Again. Do you like the Pokemon Kirin? Do you like it when he fuses with either Reshiram or Zekrom? Well, what happens if he fuses with both? Does it sound cool? I mean, that alone piqued my interest. And I was somewhat wrong. This story is about a man playing Pokemon Black and captures the 2 Pokemon that he wanted the most, Zekrom and Reshiram. But the one he wanted most of all was Kirin. So he got to look at a guide and went to the cave to capture Kirin, but something was pretty off about the cave. But Kirin ended up being there, and from that point, terror happens. Read it, please. Number 5. Buried Alive / Berryman and White Hand. So this story kind of piques my interest because of two things. A new Pokemon and a new trainer. Also, it does make sense since, well, it's in Lavender Town. The story is how someone encounters a new quote-unquote trainer zombie corpse thing, which had a team also. A Muck, a Gengar, and 2 White Hands, which are just brutally mangled hands. The 2 hands had only 2 moves, Fist and Brutal. And all the Pokemon are at ungodly levels. You practically have to be cheating just to win. But since it's practically unbeatable, you're most likely going to lose, and once he defeats you, he claims something about being hungry, and then you get a game over screen with a picture of Buried Alive dragging the player down to the ground. Oh, that's creepy stuff, sure, isn't it? Number 4. Strangled Dread. I really like this pasta because it's a completely new game with a cool and creepy twist. With what ROM hackers could do, this could turn into an actual game. It would just take some time, but still. So if someone gets a Pokemon Red cartridge, and for some reason it has a scratch against Charizard's neck. But the author thought nothing of it. And then he realized that it was some sort of ROM hack. Instead of Red, you were playing as Steven. And no, it's not the champion. It's, Strangled Red Steven, guy with long hair. And your rival, who is also your brother, is named Mike, and not Blue. And you start off with a Charmander named Miki, and after beating the Elite Four, and also beating the champion, who's Mike, you get the cutscene where Mike needs Miki to complete his Pokedex. So after saying no about 741 times, and him not taking no for an answer, you decide to. And that is where I let you read the rest. I know it's getting pretty deep in the story, but these stories are something not to pass up. 3. Pokemon Lost Silver. So the story is really good, and one of the reasons is that there's actually a ROM hack game for the story. I'll leave a link to the story in the description, and the game download too. This story is about the author getting Pokemon Silver, and well, things aren't the way they seem. The unknown spelling out words is actually pretty original for itself. And also, I would explain more, but you don't even have to read the story to know what's going on. Well, you can if you want, but you can really just download the game. Heck, you can even watch my playthrough I did a long time ago. Number 2. Pokemon Creepy Black. This story is about the author getting a Pokemon cartridge at a flea market, and decide to play it. And before you ask, it's not the spooky Generation 5 Pokemon Black Reshiram, or Zekrom or whatever. It's literally just a ROM hack of Generation 1. Or some cursed cartridge. When he started the game, he had an actual ghost from Lavender Town, and its only move is Curse, which has infinite PP, and it's a one-hit KO move. It can't be defeated because whenever it gets sent out, the opponent's Pokemon will be too scared to move, because, it's a spooky ghost who wouldn't be scared of that thing. Now, before I present number 1, I want to give some shoutouts to some stories who are just as good as the rest. Hypno's Lullaby, Gary's Raticate, Ash's Coma, Gengar and Clefable, and the Pokemon War Theory. And now, presenting number 1, Easter Egg, Snow on Mount Silver. This, in my opinion, is my most favorite Pokemon Creepypasta. Call me a sucker for the sprite works, but in my opinion, this story is just incredible. The game is literally chilling, no pun intended, and the sprites, oh my gosh, those sprites are literally terrifying, but so awesome. Oh, and that especially goes for Mr. Terrifying Chilly Cold Pika over there, with his satanic teeth and only a grin that Satan could match. The story really can give you a chill down your spine. Did I really end that off with a pun? Man, what am I doing with my life? Anyway, you should read the story. Hey, you made it to the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed this special Halloween video, and please subscribe for more content like this. The script kind of took me like 3 days to make, and reading it kind of had some error issues in it. But hopefully you enjoy and expect more top 10s like this in the future. I will be uploading more daily now. And yeah, above all else, now that's your turn to read all these stories. Have fun. Spooky.